Hi, Karen. Happy May 16th. Oh my God, I'm a little tired.
Katie, we're in the home. This is our victory lap, episode 5 of 5. We did this. We got this. We're doing it.
We are machines. This is amazing.
Like hot machines, though. We're like fembots.
We're very hot machines. Yes. We are like fembots from Austin Powers. Yeah, I mean, we're really owning this. I will say that the exhaustion is creeping in just a little bit for me, but it's okay. Yeah. So listeners, if you haven't been listening or paying attention to the last 4 episodes, excuse me, we are currently on our 5th recording of an episode. What? We are okay. Not going to cut that. Here we go. We are take 2. We are recording 5 episodes in one day, and this episode is coming out on May 16th. But today's date is April 15th because next week I am going out on a vacation for a while to Portugal, and so we decided to record 5 12-minute episodes, and this is the 5th. So if you're interested in hearing how energetic we were 4 episodes ago, just go back to April 18th and you will see it in all its glory. I still feel some energy because I'm happy to be talking to you, Karen, but also, wow, 5 episodes. We're doing it.
5 episodes. We're doing it. And what you said raised. So I have a very dear friend, Maddie, if you're listening, I love you. Who was so cute, has like listened to Ginger Buddha's episode and then like listened to another one. Oh, it's Maddie. Maddie is the one we were talking about with the heated toilet, the heated fancy toilet.
Oh, yes.
That's Maddie and Kurt's house. So
actually, like, oh, he would be welcome anytime if Maddie was ever interested.
Oh, Matt, honey, if you want to come on,
I mean, that would be incredible. I'd be really excited to talk about your heated toilet, just saying.
And other things. Yes. I mean, he's like the funnest person to talk to. And it was really funny because he was like, oh, I've been listening to the podcast. And I was like, oh, how many have you listened to? And he said, well, I listened to Tori's. And then, well, the only other one I did was the one about our toilet. And I was like, of course. However, oh my God, Katie, where was I going with this about? Oh, okay. Matt, one of the last times I saw him had this note on his phone. He was like, I have some questions for you and Katie about the podcast. Opens this note. He's like, had all these questions, right? It was like the sweetest thing. But one of them,
so amazing.
One of the questions was whether or not we do takes, like whether or not you and I will do what we just did, right? Like whether we like not script, but just like, ooh, let's do that again. And the answer is a resounding no.
Oh yeah, that's a no. That's an absolute no. Yeah, listeners, you're listening to the one and only take every time. There are never more than one. Are you kidding me? Oh God. No, we have no sound engineers or script writers or anything. Like what you're hearing is our actual friendship. That's what you're listening to.
Yes. Correct. And occasionally we have guests.
Yes, fair. That's fair.
Yes. And I have been on only one podcast where I was a guest on a podcast where we did do takes. Like, really? Oh, nope. Yeah, no, they're like, oh, no, I'm going to say that again. And I was like, wait, is that why? But why? Who cares? But okay.
Exactly. Who cares? Wow. That's intense. Yeah. And then you have to act like you're hearing the same thing for the first time, but for like the second or third, fifth, whatever.
Just like, I mean, it goes from being like, oh, I'm a guest. I started to feel like I am starring as myself as a guest on this, right? Yeah. Like it goes from being real life to like as herself. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Like in the like the credits in Friends when Brad Pitt would make, no, I guess he didn't. He made an appearance as someone else. Anyway, bad example, but yeah, I get it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So today's episode is all about.
Sorry, everything's funny.
It's. I agree. I totally agree. How beauty can also be therapy. Okay. So I came up with this one because. Why did I come up with this one? Okay, I'll tell you. So I came up with this one because I have purchased like maybe 3 or 4 new plants in the past week. And they're plants for the inside of my house. And I'm really for some reason, I don't know, it must be ego, but I'm trying to get to 100 houseplants in my house right now. And I don't think I'm anywhere near, but I am trying. And I'm also like going to TJ Maxx because they have, PSA for TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx has great like pots and baskets for super, super cheap, where you go to like a fancy plant store and it's like the same thing for $75. You can get it for 20 at TJ Maxx. So it's pretty great. Anyway,
it's great.
It's great. So anyway, the thing is that I actually genuinely get a lot of pleasure out of seeing the plants in my house. Like it actually, I mean, I know there's, science around this and that kind of thing, but like that it lowers your stress levels and like that it increases the oxygen in your house. And like, I get all of that, but also like, it really does something to my brain. Like I become more calm when I'm in like a pretty place. And I don't think I ever really realized that at all until I became a member at the Hivery co-working space in like north of San Francisco several years ago, where it was the most beautiful place I'd ever seen in my entire life. And I mean, so aesthetically gorgeous. Like I couldn't believe I was like in a magazine every day with skylights and terrariums and all this stuff. And like the owner of it, this woman named Grace Krivinger, she believes in like the power of things being beautiful. And I'm like, what? And I always thought it was very trivial, Karen. I was like, oh, beauty, like, like, and I'm not talking about like physical beauty. I'm talking about like surrounding beauty, like nature and that kind of thing. But now I realize it's not trivial at all. That's legit.
1,000% legit. I love that so much. And I also have a lot of plants. I don't have anywhere near 100, but I also like where I sit right now, where my desk is, I'm surrounded by plants.
Love that.
Yes. I have a south facing wall and west, and I agree about the beauty. And strangely, what this reminded me of is, oh my gosh, this memory is like 30 years old, but I, in college, did a story about a women's shelter, domestic violence survivor shelter.
Yeah.
And they obviously took in donations for everything. And the woman who was running it at the time was like, I can't even think of the word, but she really had this idea that if you're going to donate furniture to us, it has to be really nice. Like these women who are going through this terrible thing, who have had to seek shelter outside of their homes because they're being abused, should be surrounded by beautiful, nice things.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a designer sofa, but don't give us your piece of shit furniture. Like they should also have nice things around them. And that has really stayed with me. And that's what I think of when you are describing the importance of having beauty and nice, well-made things around you.
Yes, I love that. It's such a beautiful example. Thank you for sharing that. I love that was the standard too. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's what these women deserve. That's what everyone deserves. And I love that person that you interviewed was fighting for those women in that shelter. Like that is badass. Like that's amazing. And that's also setting a standard for those women as well, I would imagine, to be surrounded by things that are absolutely beautiful. That's amazing.
Exactly. For the next phase of their lives, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
It's not, it's wonderful when people are generous, but to have them be intentional about like, I am giving this to another human being who also like deserves to be surrounded by nice things. And
today's episode of Course I'm Not Okay, the podcast, is brought to you by Take 5, our 5-part sponsorship series that today is the last installment. And today's question, where Karen and I are asking each other questions each time, is, what was your first pet, Karen? I'm so interested.
Okay. My first pet was a cat named Precious, who I loved. Ooh. She was like a calico, right?
Oh.
And I lived at the time on the south side of Chicago on Prairie, which means that my porn name is Precious Prairie.
Oh, which is perfect.
I mean, it's almost too good to be true, but that is legit, y'all. That's legit. Like, I had a cat named Precious. I lived on Prairie. I loved her. We have always had cats. I have 2 cats now. And I, as a child, she was so patient with me. I just used to torture her because I was a kid and I would like pull her tail and all kinds of things. But yeah, cats are I think they're the perfect pet, and especially the perfect pet if you have little ones, because they're very patient.
Oh, I love that. Good old Precious. Okay. So my first pet was a golden retriever named Ginger, who I think I might have been maybe 4 or 5. And my dad brought Ginger home from a pet store in the mall. And yeah, so my mom wasn't aware that that was happening. And so she was less than excited because she didn't grow up with any pets. And so my dad grew up with a bunch of dogs and he was like, whatever, it's cool, everything's good. And then my mom was like, no. And so that's kind of how it went, I remember Ginger as being like a ball of energy because she was probably taken away from her mothers too soon. I mean, this is kind of a sad story, but like I think the straw that broke the back of, well, the decision-making back, if you will, wow, that's not a good analogy, is that my brother was only 2 and Ginger would knock him over and not hurt him, but it was like enough to be like, yeah, no, like this is like, the dog goes, the kid stays, basically. And so I remember vividly that like when this guy pulled up in this, like, I swear to God, it was a blue or something bluish station wagon or Oldsmobile thing, and he took Ginger away. And like I remember standing in my driveway seeing Ginger go. I don't know if I was sad about it or not, I can't really remember, but like the story that my mom told us was that Ginger is going to a farm and he's going to be able to run or she is going to be able to run free, and it's like such a happier life for her. And the truth is I actually believed her, so I was like, okay, and that's probably what is true, I don't know, but anyway, yeah, good old Ginger. I think it was actually a good dog, it just didn't fit our life.
Okay, so Ginger. So quick question. What's your porn star name then?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's my first pet's name and then my street name. Yes. Ginger Cherry Lawn. You can't make this shit up. Cherry Lawn Drive is the street that I grew up on. So yeah, I mean, 2 food names and then lawn. Ginger Cherry Lawn. Yes.
My spirit just left my body. I'm laughing so hard about that. What?
It's so good. That's so good. Yes. I always thought that it was like your middle name and then your street name, but it's way better to have your porn name be your first pet's name and then your street name. That's way better.
I think soap opera name is middle name. Street.
Got it. That makes a lot more sense because then it would be Eileen Cherry Lawn, and that seems like a very stately white-haired woman with like one of those muffs that she walks around in the winter. That's Eileen Cherry Lawn. But Ginger Cherry Lawn is a party.
Oh my God. What?
Oh my God. And yours is Precious Prairie. I mean, we could come back and do a whole podcast episode, Karen, like as our porn selves, like just like, like have a full conversation in like alter egos. I swear to God, that would be, I mean, this is where I am at this point in like one day of recording. I don't hate it.
I mean, 5 episodes, 5 sponsor spots later, we've developed personas for our porn star names. Like that's where we are as people, and I'm here for it.
I am so here for it. Stay tuned for the adventures of Precious Prairie and Ginger Cherry Lawn coming to a podcast near you.
Yeah, I've been also thinking a lot about this idea of surroundings. I moved a year and a half ago, and I have a lot of bare walls in my apartment. I wish I didn't. And I feel like I'm just trying to make peace with the fact that like, it's not going to look exactly the way I want, but it can still be beautiful and it can still be like comforting to me.
Totally. And it's like, it's whatever brings comfort to you. Like it can be also different at different times of your life. Like maybe you'll see at some point something that you want to put there, or maybe you'll actually be like, you know what, that this wall, the way it is perfect. And like, that gives you comfort. It's such a personal thing.
Yes. And exactly. Hold on. I'm distracted because I'm scrolling and because we're 5 episodes in. Oh, okay. When you listed this topic in our document, also you said beauty is therapy, and then you had art, nature, song. Yes. And I love the idea of beauty of surroundings and nature, especially. And for song, I'm gonna tell the story, even though it's very embarrassing. Oh, I think I froze.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you froze, but it's okay. I can hear you.
Oh, good. Oh no, my face is terrible. Oh, Zoom. I'm so glad we're not on YouTube. So, I am late to this party, but I recently discovered the song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh, maybe I know this song. I'm sure
it's I do. The Thunder only happens when it's raining.
Oh yes,
Players only love you when they're playing.
Thunder only happens when it's raining. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. Thank you I'm going to turn my video off. That's terrible.
Oh my God. Maybe I will too. Yeah. Here, I'll turn my video off and then I'll turn it back on. Let's see. Okay. Now is it good? I don't know. Anywho. Oh no, you're good.
I'm back.
Hey.
I'm back.
Okay. We're good.
Yes. So I made a breakup playlist as I referenced a couple episodes ago, and I'm obsessed with this song. Like, I know it went crazy on TikTok last year. That's not what I'm talking about. I love this song. And to me, it is beautiful. And then I read the story about how that song came about, and now I'm even more obsessed with it. So Stevie Nicks wrote Dreams in 10 minutes in like 1974, 1976. So as Fleetwood Mac was having all of these internal struggles, like every one of them was like going through divorces and breakups. She was breaking up with Lindsey Buckingham, but they're all recording together. They have this album they have to make. And she, like during a break, sat and wrote this fucking amazing song. And the band hated it and didn't want to record it.
Oh.
And she talked them into it. And then Lindsey fucking Buckingham, worked with it and turned it into what it is now, the song that it is now. Like initially it was just like her on the pianos. So that song to me brings me so much joy, and it's so pointed. And I love that he worked on it knowing it was about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. And there's so much beauty in that. Like there's beauty in that artistic expression, and like
totally
knowing the story behind it makes it even more beautiful and more meaningful. And then if it like actually relates to you, and so like it's just incredible. Like that's, yes, I have been listening on constant repeat to John Baptiste. Do you know John Baptiste?
Yes.
I mean, what a singular talent. Holy crap. Like his what is it? His record, I think is what it's called, won the best record of the year, best album of the year at the Grammys 2 weeks ago. And his song Freedom is so amazing. And he also won best music video for Freedom. And it's all like these incredible singers and dancers from New Orleans on the streets of New Orleans. And it's like, you just can't help but dance. It makes me so happy. I seriously listen to it like multiple times a day. And then I'm also listening to Annie Lennox. Why? The name of the song, Why? Like, what? No, I can't. Oh my God. Everyone knows Why by Annie Lennox. Yes. And so I will not go there, but there's so much beauty because it like brings me so much joy to like listen to these songs that are just so incredibly beautiful. And, you know, John Baptiste, he is married to this woman who's an incredible writer, and I will botch the pronunciation of her name, so I'm not going to botch that and embarrass myself, but I will put it in the description of the podcast. She wrote a book called Between Two Kingdoms last year about her experience with leukemia, and she unfortunately is in a relapse right now, and she's getting a bone marrow transplant. And he, you know, he was on Stephen Colbert because he's the band leader on Stephen Colbert's show. And and so he was interviewed after he won the Grammy, and he basically talked about how, like, you know, he had gone to the Grammys and brought his whole family, and his wife can't go. I mean, she's literally in the hospital, like getting cancer treatment. And so he's like, you know, Stephen Colbert asked him, he said, you know, you got married right before your wife went into treatment. And and John was like, you're right. We got married the day before because we have to focus on the light, because the darkness can overtake you. And like, he's like, there's so much light. And it was like, oh my God, I don't want to quote him improperly, and I think that's close to what he said, but it was just like so beautiful. And like, he I think is like one of the most incredible performers ever, because like he also during COVID would have these like impromptu socially distanced like parties, not even party, but like, you know, like parades through New York City where he would go with his band and play just so that people could hear music and beauty. And it's like, that's just incredible. Like, it's like, what a light-filled human being on this earth, you know, like how lucky are we to like live in the same time as someone who's that dedicated to beauty, you know? Yes. Anyway, I didn't know I'd go on that long of a tangent about John Baptiste, but I really love him. So
I'm going to go watch a bunch of videos on YouTube of his right now.
Oh, it's so wonderful. So, but yes, beauty, and it is everywhere, you know, like it's like, if we look for it, it's on our Spotify. If we look for it, it's like, even if you don't live in a place that you're like thinking is beautiful, like there's got to be something. So, and I just realized we're not now at 15 minutes because somehow in the last 10 minutes, I lost my phone. So, you know, that's where we are.
Listeners, if you're wondering, we were trying to keep ourselves to a strict 12 minutes, and Kate had a timer that I can't see and can only occasionally hear. And it was very aware of it.
Yes, very.
But it was great. I'm glad we did it this way.
I'm glad we did it this way. And bravo us. Like, congratulations, Karen, on us doing 5 episodes in one go. And I can't wait for next week when we're actually going to sit down and be together for a real episode again.
Have the best time in Portugal. I can't wait to hear about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fabulous, amazing podcast break that is nourishing and filled with beauty. And same with all of you listeners. Thank you for listening to our crazy experiment of 5-episode marathon. We really appreciate all of you. We will see you next week.